Hello. Good evening, Chua Impala. Elias Munshya here on TVBAKWETU. Now, as you can tell, my lighting is pretty poor today because you can only see the outline, and maybe you can just see my my teeth. This is not good. Anyway, so I'm going to keep my video out, and as long as we have a chat and you have the voice and stuff like that, this is going to be a very, very good program. So welcome to TVBAKWETU. I wish to welcome everyone in Serenge. If you are in Serenge, please let me know if you are in Serenge, Mkusho, or some areas around here. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much for joining me. Now, it's been a few days since I came live to you, and my fellow TVBAKWETU family have kept you going and entertained for the past few days. But here I am, Nimbwera. And so we are going to have a great time together. So I've already shared my link. If you are there, please share it. and join me in the discussion today. A lot has happened, and so it's only natural that we try and talk about this. This is extremely late in Zambia, I know. In Chuempala, this is 23:08, almost going to midnight, and next week is coming up. But for some of you who are insomniacs, you can't sleep, here we are. Let's have a chat and let us redirect some of your energy to something more productive. Instead of you just spending yonse ishta okulachitefia psana psana. Katuishefe muchta. So today you are at least going to be entertained here. Let's talk and chat a little bit, okay? In Japan it's 06 already. Okay. That's nice. Japan is 06 already. Honorable Jones Malipilo says, hi. I was at Matebeto yesterday in Lusaka, Thorn Park area yesterday. Pretty good. I had a very good reunion with some of our TVBAKWETU family, which is pretty amazing. Ndola is in the Bubu, Chanda, Mwambaroid is here. Miti says they like this channel. Thank you very much. And if you like our channel, please send us stars, subscribe for a monthly low fee of about $3.99 or something like that. You're going to keep TVBAKWETU coming to you with exciting programming, okay? And so please do so, because TVBAKWETU is just for you. You are actually part of the TVBAKWETU. I was in Kapiri today, just going through ShopRite, and somebody walked up and said, "Hey, this is you are BAKWETU. How are you doing?" and stuff like that. So it's very humbling, and it makes me feel like we are indeed part of something big. And so do subscribe and help this channel out. When you subscribe, you feel good. It's not just that you're shining. No, you feel good because you are being part of something big, something greater. And that is what we aimed to do on TVBAKWETU. So this is almost midnight. There are several things that have happened, and so I'm going to let you lead the way. So let me know what you really want me to talk about, because there is just so much that has happened, and so it's very difficult for me to just go to one. I always give you topics, but today I just want to hear from you. Let's hear from you. What are you saying about this? What do you think about what has been happening in our country? What are you excited about? Let's have a chat, okay? The song I was playing is Nemwenenika for Wangu by Serenge. And interestingly, that's Serenge. And so a very great song. It talks about that at Balenja, Mbakuli Ababa Pushi Bafule. It's a bad song, okay? Bad manners. Anyway, at Balenja, Mbakuli Ababa Pushi Bakule Milomo. ate ife unkaira mukupanda umuntu aba frustrated ataleya mukupanda bantu bati mukulanda baba nabo. Anyway, that's interesting. Anyway, so today is Sunday, and the president was in Kabwata campaigning for the Kabwata constituency candidate. It appears like there was a lot of he electrified the entire constituency. And so I think this visit today by the president accomplishes several things, one of which is it restores hope in many foot soldiers in Kabwata, because they realize that the president is still with them. I think there was a little bit of a despondency at one point, but with the activity today, and it takes a lot of energy, to go to church, from church, go to market after market, and then along the ring road and stuff like that. That's a lot of energy. And so the campaigner in chief is still with the ground troops of the UPND, and they felt very excited. One of the ground troops, Landa Mulima, she went to community house, and she even took photographs with the president today. And so that is pretty exciting. I think if there was anything that you needed in Kabwata, it was this gesture, so to speak, from the head of state, being the campaigner in chief. Going there and just ensuring that he's there in the forefront. And so we are extremely proud of that. And Mr. Tayengwa as well, we as TVBAKWETU have already endorsed Mr. Tayengwa to be our candidate in Kabwata. And the reason why we are endorsing him is because there is no choice in Kabwata. The candidate for the Patriotic Front is a crook, is a thief. Is this guy who was distributing cash. And so we keep asking the question, where did Clement Tembo get the money that he was distributing all over the country? You know, he was working with sacks and sacks of money. And so as for Kabwata, the choice is very clear. Do not even look either way. Go and it's just next week, go and elect Andrew Tayengwa to be Member of Parliament for Kabwata. That will be an honor to the memory of the late MP, Levi Mkandawire. But more than that, it will show that you remain behind this revolution. Because you see, every revolution has always got people that want to counter it, to defeat it, to reverse it. And so by electing Andrew Tayengwa in Kabwata, what you are doing is that you are actually saying that you want to still be in charge. You want the New Dawn to continue, and you are voting. You're casting a vote of confidence in this administration. So go ahead and do that. For the people of Kabwata, very early on February 3rd, I think that's when the by-election is going to be held. Wake up very early, go and line up and cast your vote. It's very important. We believe that the New Dawn is delivering. We believe that the New Dawn is on the right trajectory. And so let us do the right thing. We are going to bring you our candidate. We brought him 2 weeks ago. But we're going to bring him again so that he can explain to you what he's all about. There were some rumors, false rumors that he was not a Zambian. Ignore those rumors. Ignore them with the contempt that they deserve. Mr. Tayengwa is a Zambian. He was born at UTH. He was born of a Biza mother in Ababiza, Evanina. Kanshi ngatuwa konko mukowa nentambisha ya chibemba, data matrilineal. Oba Andrew Tayengwa babiza abakamamo namensha babulona okutwishika. Ekyo kanshi mwebonse mumwebe na Kabwata. We should not even be thinking twice at yo shanshan. Oyu muntu weno born at UTH. Twali mfuati bawishi bayishire ku Zambia during the times of the federation. Mwaibukisha mu federal mulya abena Zimbabwe na abena Malawi. Na ifo bena Zambia baadiya. Efe n'abarupia banda bafyarirwe ku Zimbabwe nicho kainge kyali kyalo kimo. Kanshi abantu bali kitafye okwalefu ayo kuyo mwine kwaya nabaye wishi Andrew Tayengwa bene na wefe bayishire. So kanshi during independence ya 1964 evyo kyali bashitayengwa bali about 13 years old. Bawishi Andrew bali 13 years old akamwa ichefye ka baby ka grade 7 kashingani ka grade 8 kali. Independence yachitika elwe efunde lyalanda okuba ti onse uli mu Zambia at that time nishimwina Zambia ifyo fine kanje fina bawishi Andrew Tayengwa nomba basangweka bantu eko bali during independence elo nomba basafyala omwana nababiza elo nomba lero tumfwe abantu balere tomulomo n'obufyati omukwayi Tayengwa temwena Zambia nomba nga temwena Zambia nishimwina finshi mwina findo mwina Zambia wabula n'okutwishika ekyo kanshi bane bonse mumwebe na Kabwata ndemi kita encourage kuba muye kitefyo fine n'okumusala n'okumuvotera if we've not hesitated to endorse him as TVBAKWETU. The same TVBAKWETU that you've always trusted through the elections and even post-election. We are urging you, our people of Kabwata, to do the right thing. Elo Kabwata is very close to my heart because Kabwata, that's the compound that's the constituency in Lusaka that I lived in after Kopala. And so Kabwata is very close to my heart. And so do the right thing and elect Tayengwa as MP. Mamanade. And even the president told you so today. And we are telling you that as well. Okay. That's over in terms of Tayengwa. The next one, yeah. Oh, Alexander Pavlov at greetings from Waterloo, Ontario. Thank you very much. I'm number one cadre for you. Thank you, Hangandu. Much appreciated. you should proceed to Mwense district. Nifinjivili kumwense. Imwe, mulefu mjize kumwense, nindo iliko. Shilandeni. Mwe bantu beso. Gatakutira kuli ifisuma kumwense. Shilandeni. So sen, tuweben. All right? Okay. Now, the other thing is, Iridia Shiria, I'm a journalist and KBN. Okay. Narami Rondorwera, to quite a little bit of understanding, okay? Beriashi, Iria KBN. Now, one thing that we need to be very clear about, and I hope Honorable Minister of Information, Baleo Mfua, and any other person who is involved with communicating what's going on in the government. Mwalishwa, I don't speak for the government. In Instafe observe. And as TVBAKWETU, of course, we editorialize, meaning we also express our own opinion over things that are happening. So the story with KBN, now I've never keep KBN Vanandi, and in fact I've appeared on KBN network. So Vanandi Vesana. Now even TVBAKWETU, when we decided to go on satellite and try to KBN. So banenso bakaya sana. So therefore mwisho kwa bakaya. Okay, so they are really good people and everything. Number bali kwata recording. Okay, so the KBN, they are journalists. Bali kwata recording. Idia recording bakwete. They are purporting that it was the presidential advisor for politics, Levi Ngoma, who was speaking with permanent secretary at the Ministry of Home Affairs. So it's a taped conversation. It's a recorded conversation. All right. Now, not of what they've taken it for studies to determine exactly whether it's authentic or not. Now, we are assuming that it's authentic. Let me assume it's authentic. Okay, but indeed, it contains a conversation between the presidential political advisor and the permanent secretary. The question that needs to be answered when it comes to that issue is, who recorded it? Because in Zambia, mulando ukuchita tape conversation, private conversation yabantu babili. It's a criminal offense, okay? Which means a person who watched the tape, watch the record, watch the tap. In fact, they call it tapping. Go watch the tap into a telephone. Elo number watch the obtain ama recordings yabantu babili badenda privately. It's an offense. No, but even if my criminals, if we as a citizen, what's the tap phone yama criminals? Abadelande fintu watu walefo kuibana walefo kuipana walefo konaola. Ero numbawi what's the tap that information? It is still a criminal offense. Therefore, munko nkebweno wino. And so it's still a criminal offense. So when that recording surfaced, the question was it phone tapping? Because if it's phone tapping, first of all, it's an offense on its own. Now, ninkwata abantu abalechita doubt but as long as if you were and avena Levi Ngoma na Akafumba illegal, they are wrong, it means then that they can excuse the crime. No. Even when it comes to the crime of blackmail, Mwarishwa blackmail yako bati if you apalo muntu alufianya, okay. Elo nombo muntu umbi amba kokula mchita blackmail. Nga waya chita report kukapokola. Before wakapokola tabachita na investigate the very thing that you are guilty of. They take blackmail very seriously because blackmail in its own right, it is an offense. Even if umuntu wabalechita blackmail na uwina chita shani aliba guilty, nangwali rufianya, nangwali pango mlando. The very fact that umuntu walichita blackmail, it is taken very seriously. The same thing is applying to this thing. So before you go to the conversation of these two individuals, first of all, you deal with how did that private recording get leaked? If it was wiretapping, it's an offense. Now, it could be possible that one of the parties was recording. So all that evidence needs to be investigated and brought forward. Who was recording between the two? Was it Mr. Agafumba, assuming that the recording is true, or was it Mr. Levi Ngoma, who is the special advisor to the president for politics, right? But anyway, I think they are going to look into that. Now, the question becomes, if the police are trying to investigate whether there was a crime that has been committed in leaking that particular recording, Are the police justified to question a journalist? My answer is, of course, yes. The reason is you can't leave that gap because that particular document, it comes to the public, it comes to us via a journalist. So it is only natural, the police are going the journalist. Mfuna distinguish hapa. Vakapokola valiperwa ensambo ishakwita journalist elo vamwipusha okwevati wemwaume natumwona ati naukwata iyi information yafuma kwi mwamona because navakwata reasonable suspicion okwevati ilya information ilya it was obtained via a crime so kumwipusha nomba ni journalist umwine uwakuchita respond kuli vakapokola kuti ave vati imwe iyi recording iyi it was on public domain nangu kwalifye omuntu waishile ntumina nangu natolelefye nangu nshamyeve iyo because I'm protecting my journalistic source. But the fact that you are a journalist does not mean that vakapokola tetivakwite pakoti vakuipushe bantu ngata vakuipwishe as a journalist. The problem is that ninshi vafira okuchita shana okuchita cover all the loopholes in order to investigate that crime. So before mulela ndati it's just intimidation or the police are intimidating a journalist. No, the police are not intimidating a journalist. The police just want to find out from this journalist akwete shani information. Elo journalist nakwata ensambo futi shako kano kwa bati ine ndechita protect source yandi. Epela tapali apati yo mkwai vakapokola vale shupa ma journalists or anything like that. There is nothing like that. Balia bambi balia ba opposition balia yi opposition yalapwa baya basamwa bana mukutekesha ma press conferences barefo kupanga scandal apa shiri scandal. There is no scandal here. The only issue is vakapokola they have all the rights to find out to share how was this information leaked because ngarakutira kuli umuntu ulichitire tap a conversation of high ranking government officials. The police need to know because then it means that muteke chalo if your conversations that are happening between officers of the state is being tapped, is being accessed. Because if this is accessed, what else has been accessed? That's why now the police must do a very fine line here to try and establish the truth. Pakova tichalo vachiteke wino. Panto vahichirema ababene mwasalire. Teti vateke wino nga chakutila inside their establishment. Mukati mulia muine mulia. Ifintu fidedi ikinga. No. Panto ngarakutile vitu wasuminisho kubati it's okay kutfiari ikinga. Nomba the next one will be conversation yako akateka. Omwina aleteke echalo alelanda nabantu kuteke echalo mwevo kuteke echalo conversation yakwe yaloka no awe teifyo yo before that tulayana mukuchita analyze at yom kwai is this a crime between what they are talking about before we even go to the content tukayako and content there is a dispute as to whether indeed it is true or not. You know what I mean? Content here, or is it true that it's the president who is interfering in the affairs of DP? Personally, I don't think anyone can interfere in the affairs of DP because DP nikapate akanono 1, 2 nikapate akakwete 0.00%. Longa nikateka nshunga for yokuchita intervene munikapate akanono emwevo DP kapate akanono in the previous election kapate kakwete 0.0000 shanyoko. But right kalungu bakote 1.8 million but hakaende ichire bakote 2.8 million ka DP pate kakwete 25,000 votes ekadi number 3 25,000 votes imwe kwena nangu kateka yo wali babize kutuwaya mukuchita interfere muri kapate akanono ka DP echo kanshi. Before we even go to the content of that tape, we need to look at the broader picture. Who leaked that? Number 2, if it is the officers who are recording, we need to find out. Anyway, muleteke echalo elo mule ichita record ninshefi ninshikuteke echalo kwa musango shanyo ukakuva vati muleteke echalo nakateka elo nomba mule ichita record ama-conversations mule quarters officers for what? That's very important. Nomba kainshi vakapokola ifo tufiro kuchita Zambians kula vapeperako poko vatire sale vapera maka nenkosho as they are investigating these matters. Apata pali big scandal yakubati yo it's a big scandal if into fiapena to alachita shani no there is no scandal here. Bambi vamba nokupalanya nefyo vachitire va ulioputeko bwalipo. It was cruel towards journalists. It wasn't just calling journalists kuya mkuisha but ama-journalists babebeko information about a crime. No. If you barechita ba-PF kuisala kunyantapo, imagine post newspaper irapo iyaba Fred Membe baisala. Who knew ukuisala post baisala? Na masti ine nishaishire tampoco puputukako mas I write for the mass na yoyini batampako kuchita persecute. Prime TV vaisala. Ero badora siri okuisaisa pa TV bebere ninchiisala chi Prime TV. At why at pandu para Prime TV ukuleta fyama reasons aya madongo. That is what used to happen under PF. Nomba ubuteko why itirefe journalist ukubatiwe journalist isa utuolo ndoro ereko bwino I recording ifumine kwi epela elo journalist nakwate nsambu ishako kano kulanda nangu kulanda tiyo mkwa ina tolerefye epela efe balefo okuishpa pandu ngabaisho kwa watu atolerefe journalist ninji at least bachita cover ngabaichita uncover the scandal the criminal who tapped the wires. They will have already at least spoken to a journalist. So apata pale at journalists are in trouble, this government is trying to persecute journalists or what? No, there is nothing like that. Uwafya ni ba PF eva leisala ama TV station te ba PF lelo ba PF babe ni ba champion of freedom of expression. No, we can't agree to that. We can't agree to that. Okay. Number about content, at least ni mirondoro yako panono kwa bati kadipi nika pate yaka nono, kapate yaka kwa bati 0.00 shani yuko percent pate. Kanshi kateka haka inde hichite mate chaye muku ituala muku itumpa muma problems yaka dipi. Pandu kadipi kanono. Anso kanono sana kwa bati kateka, why? So it's all nothing. There is nothing there, and I hope kwabati bonse mwe na Zambia mwala sumino kwabati awo mkwai ba DP kubwafya buli mudipi bwafya bwabo beka umulomo beka bebika mukateka tiyo kateka no kateka ali busy aleteke echalo ali busy okuteka echalo mairwama skulu ya isuka free education, free health, fiance, CDF, kumirenge imwe CDF 25.7 million kwacha. CDF kateka ni busy aleteke chalo. So that's the interfere yo muri ka DP. What is DP? Kuchalo. Nothing. Chokanshita pali hapa. The next thing is violence. Natumfua kwedia violence na kukasa ama kwine. Nakateka na alando kwebati there will be no violence yama gadas. The difference here is that there is decisive action. Mamona, that is what makes a difference. Abantu balifokulanda tiyo ama gadas yaba UPND shani and everything else. Look, ututu fintutu kututu wabako. But we look to a president and the party itself to be decisive about these questions. And that's exactly what we have seen in the UPND. That these cadres are our friends or anything like that. No. Did you hear my statements? Did you hear? Wangu swiftly, as soon as that incident is happening in Kasama, investigate this issue and arrest these criminals. Tapadi, there is no cadre in this country that is going to take abantu kumunga wefuafua. Nothing. And that is what we needed. We needed a president. We needed a party that is able to bring law and order. And when a criminal tries to go and try to cause confusion in Kasama, the government, the police are going to act swiftly and decisively. Takulia tiyo kwana kalimu kwangala, there is no playing under the New Dawn administration. And that is what we voted for. So nombakanisha babantu ba opposition dimo tabakweta pa kumoko so kwamba fiokula chita magnify even simple straightforward things. Mwebaume, is there a problem here? There is no big problem. So nomba kwamba kokula chita expand simple things bafikusha bafichita magnify kwana kalimo katuishi iyo bane. Those criminals in Kasama have been arrested. At the fifth one is on the run. They will arrest him as well. Chobane, I want to warn you, do not go to commit crimes under the UPND. You shall not be covered at all. You commit a crime under this government, you are in for it. Personally, you are going to be responsible for it. So take question. Area shiri. Nomba kulidia shina diembi ku kalulushi ningufuat kwachiva soldiers, paramilitary officers abachia to try and stop and to try and protect a defection. Kwena, I'm still studying this matter, but nimpapako, I have several questions in my mind. So let me first of all study it, maybe in a day or two, nkabwera pakobati tukalanshanyeko, because there is something that is not right about that. Something that does not sit very well. You see, and it does not sit very well. It's not just about me, but just common sense, because common sense tells you, nganam kwata defection, elomomba mwaleta bapara. For what? Ichichalo, Zambia, we are suffering with resources. Ama resources ya Wakapokola. We need to be channeling Wakapokola to go and arrest those cadres in Kasama, to go and investigate crimes and stop Ama crimes. Why should we be assigning battalion of paramilitaries to go and protect a defection in Kalulushi? For what? Abo bena bale panga defection, bushenomba teti babonfie kufia mano. A man of fear. That's all we are asking. Either that's a postpone defection. Nanguba panga a virtual defection. Yeneyo is not a virtual defection. A virtual defection is not a defection. Nanguba staff announce okoba tukuli umuntu aba joine. Epe. Webanande. Ile njafuyisheni ko. Tati bapanga fe statement ukuba tukuli aba join apate epera. Nomba ukuya itaba kapokola. Elo chativa. And even in COVID times. No kuitabaka pokola baisa mukuchita protect defection. I'm still studying this matter. Tukabwera with my fellow TVBAKWETU families. Pakwati tukalandepo bantu kuena inachi mpapusha. Ni defection ya msango shani ya kobati defection mwaitira pona baka pokola to come and protect abantu abalechita defect. You are spending fuel in those police cars. Nama tear gas aya ku China nenkongole ama bullets di mulimbi mwachikwata no kuchushe mipashisha abashirika instead of abashirika bale sakamana ku bigger problems bale sakamana kuya mukuchita protect defection ya ku Kalulushi. What is so special about that defection, for goodness sake? Munjebe iya kobat mwaitira pona bapara to come and protect you over a defection. Mkwai. DJ Msonda, mulishana? Mulife bueno? How you are muted.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes.
Wide-ranging topics today. Alendete nidia shamutishana.
I've got just like a complaint so far. Perhaps I'm from Kanyama. Yeah, I'm coming from Kanyama. Yeah, and I was looking at the directives that the president raised when he ascended into office. And for the UPND wing, what I'm looking at in terms of Kanyama constituency, I'm not seeing that much seriousness in terms of cadreism, they're not taking it so seriously, and it's becoming worse at some certain extent, whereby the directive is not being followed properly. That's what I can say, because me, I'm a bus driver in short.
Okay, naye bamusonda ekyo
Yes, boss.
tulefuwaya kuba move straight forward nokulanda namuje pano pa TV bakwetu
Yes, I
kulanda
know.
nomba
Yes, yes.
nomba ndefa mulande what happened
Okay.
muba driver era okukanyama kyabajana
Me, I'm a driver along City Market. So what happens there is that cadres, you find that they would come to say you need to be giving us money, and you cannot be working alone. We've heard the directive of the president, but you can't follow that. So you cannot be just eating money alone. So I say to say, how is it possible that you should be collecting the money? If the council is collecting their levy, then
bamusonda
why? Yes, boss.
I
Yes.
just want to know whether Imwe, as a bus driver,
Yes.
you still have problems with cadres collecting money from you.
Yes, we still have problems.
And those cadres are UPND cadres.
UPND cadres, yes.
Have you taken this matter to the right channels, police?
I've taken this matter to the right channels. I've gone to the police.
Okay.
I've gone
And
to
how much have you paid so far? Mulipira shinga?
So far, you haven't been giving them anything yet, because there's nothing to give them. Moreover,
right? Okay, exactly. Okay, thank you. So
yes, boss.
I see that.
Munshya, may I just come in a bit, if you may allow me, please?
Yeah.
Bamusonda, abantu balesa mukumilipirisha abo. Is it possible that you can take pictures or videos of them, so that when you report them, there are faces that you are going to put to your complaints? Because if you interfere,
yeah, I can do that. I can do that. Yeah. I think that will carry weight.
Yeah,
that can carry more weight, because uli onse kuti aisa chinene po maramani newo UPND benimpia limbia fumine fyoko likonse. So don't let any person who comes up saying for UPND use you.
So he was saying, threatening me at some certain extent, whereby you won't be eating this money freely. We've suffered so much.
Yeah. No.
And I say to say, I fought this war in a ballot box. I voted.
Yes.
Because I wanted to be free. So if you were fighting with pangas and all these other things, me, I'm not part of that. Me, I voted. Yes, boss.
Amsonda, thank you very much.
Okay,
next,
thank you.
Any next topic?
So far so good. I'm just impressed with the way the president is running the issues of the state, and how humble he is through the people that voted for him. It's social. Right now I can feel that we have a leader now. We've got a president. At least I'm able to see what lies ahead of us.
Thank you.
I'm able to see the good things ahead of us.
Thank
so
you.
I'm
Thank
just
you
watching. Yeah.
Thank you. Paulo Malama.
Bamusha mwabombeni mkwai.
Mkwai. Ine nani too dark okondi. Lighting. I've still not figured out lighting wino kuno kuntu.
Twala michitako represent for kwete malaiti.
But the team ifise kwena Zambia.
I know I've been following. I've been seeing your pictures and all the.
Zambia. Anyway, Alain, acha.
Yeah, no, I hope you are having a good time there in Zambia. I've seen some of your pictures. Ningumbwa no kumbwa, but anyway, yeah. My contribution was I wanted to just pick up on one little issue as a starting point, which I know you've touched on, the issue about DP. You've rightly mentioned the fact that they are a small party, I was reading
I
article.
didn't say that it was a small party by Paulo Malam. Nachenda nika party akanono. Ka party akanono.
Karakere aka 25,000 kali.
0.00%.
Yeah. So I was reading article about Kalaba yesterday, where he was saying he got wind of the recording between Bangoma and Akafumba, which I also think is another discussion point, which I'll come to in a bit. But he was saying, "Oh, I sent this to the president and I haven't received any response so far." And for me, just from that point, I picked one thing, and the one thing I picked was this gentleman is looking for attention. You know, yeah, he's looking for attention. So, and the fact that he hasn't received any response means the president has actually seen right through him, and he doesn't want to give him that satisfaction because he's a politician who's trying to make a name for himself, and he rightly so. I mean, people would look for, when they want attention, they'll look for anything and everything to put them into the spotlight. But that said, we've got a president who is leading a country, not 2-3 people. So therefore, he's got to pick his priorities, which I think he is doing at the moment. So therefore, for me, I believe the president is doing a good thing by ignoring them, because you can't, I'm not insulting them, but if you're walking down the street, you can't have every dog that barks at you, you stop and pick a stone and throw. You won't get to the far end of the street. But that said, I would like to come back to the point of the legitimacy or the lack of it, of that recording. And I think this is where the UPND need to sit back down and do a good introspection to say, where is this coming from? Is this legitimate or not? Or if it is, what's leading to this recording? What led to this discussion happening, let alone it being recorded and being distributed? And who recorded it and why did they distribute it? Whose interest is this? You know, I think that's where they need to put their focus on and find out why this is happening, because this might just be the beginning of leaks, you know?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. So on the fact that at least Mr. Kalaba has acknowledged that he got that recording, and so I do hope that the police are going to ask him to explain a little bit about where he got the recording, and because it's a very serious offense. I'm sorry if you have 2 people in a private discussion and you have them on tape. That's wiretapping. And we as citizens are interested to know who did the recording. I'm not saying that go at kabieni mumuikate kalava mukaya muntu wesu at kuya muikata ero nomba muka muchuchunganye. No, but kalava afuire alondorera law enforcement ukwafumishe chile chi recording. Bakobati chitowafuirisheko ngakana nishakana, but at least bakapoka bafuire bamuipusha ati ale nomba kalava londolola mune wafumishe kuisa nganda tatolere fie nishi. It's okay. Nombe fifia koba could undermine government by ukulachitadi kama things. It's not right. I'm sorry. It's not right. You know?
Yeah.
Because
I agree with you, but
free chalo. Not to take chalo, you are so suspicious. No. Bafirukularanda kateka ngavula phone. Atumino muntu phone. It must be free from interference and tapping. It must be free from tapping, so that we should.
Yeah, but Doc, one thing I would say here is, for me personally, I think this is early days, and I think it's a good thing, in inverted commas, that these things are beginning to happen now. Because I say it's a good thing because what it does is it gives the president enough time to nip this thing in the bud, you know. So if some people are trying to go wrong, then therefore the president will know that there are people who are working against me.
All right, thank you.
So
there is Motohela Matambo is saying, Doc, we all know how such information leaked. System is still compromised. Intelligence and Zicta needs to be cleaned. Otherwise, next we hear at Ego One was on a call with Chite. Now, this is one of the things that I find quite fascinating in trying to think that it's the intelligence that leaked such a recording. I really find it very unlikely that this was recorded by the intelligence. The Zambian intelligence is extremely professional, and so I don't expect that they would leak such. And in fact, for what? For the DP? What is for goodness sake, why would the intelligence involve themselves about this DP, which is a 0.0001% party? Kapata kanono. No. I don't think the Zambia intelligence is involved in this, and I don't think Zicta is involved in this. I think it's just somebody who is rogue, or it could be the two individuals. One was recording the other, Mr. Kafumba or Mr. Levi Ngoma, and they need to explain to the people of Zambia who was recording that thing. Yeah. That's it.
I agree with you. I think the answers are going to have to come from the two individuals. Of course, there's the discussion about the legitimacy of the recording itself, but I think answers will have to come from the two individuals.
Yeah.
Issue of
as they are questioning the journalists, and they are questioning, most likely question the president of the DP out personally, because the president of the DP has said that he got the recording. For goodness
we all got the recording. Let's just be fair. Let's just be fair here. We all got the recording.
No. But the DP president is saying that he was the first one to have it and he sent it to the president.
But now, that's debatable, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's what he's saying.
Get it? Yeah, he's a politician. We have to take that with a pinch of salt, don't we?
DP president is saying that he got the recording. No, but in Ghana,
Kabiri. So we talk about Ebach say he got the recording first. Ebach say sanction recording, huh?
Yeah, so we need to ask him, Kai. If we must ask him recording.
Yeah,
no, but if it's the individuals recording, we want to know, because these are very important and strategic positions. Why should they be recording their phone conversations? What sort of mystery stuff are they dealing with that they find the need to record their conversations? Because once you record it, there is a likelihood that it might leak. So or even because this is not going away anytime soon.
No,
and we don't expect any petty explanations that it's not a legitimate recording. Those voices do sound to be like the gentleman.
Munshya. I went to CBU with Levi Ngoma. He was Mum Kobusu. I know his voice. That was his voice. So if people want to, the issue of discussing the legitimacy of it actually doesn't apply. Yeah. At least I know Levi Ngoma, that was his voice. Those who know Kafumba can talk for none. So that issue of legitimacy is already not part of the discussion. So the discussion should be who recorded it and why. What were their interests?
Yeah, I agree with you. Anyway, but anyway, this issue is not going to go away. We are going to keep on top of it because we are interested as TVBAKWETU.
Exactly.
Because we find it intolerable. We find it completely intolerable that a conversation between two high-ranking government officials could be recorded. That is not acceptable. Absolutely. And leaked. That is unacceptable. And so we just hope that the police are going to get to the bottom of this thing, and please stop involving the intelligence. The intelligence gather a lot of information. They wired up. They do a lot of covert activities, and they don't leak such activities. They are for the protection of our pakwati hichirema ateke chalo bwino afuira kwatako access to covert and overt information pakuteke chalo nomba we shouldn't think that it's these mundane recordings of a kapata akanono katuteke mfine no bomkela bai
and Mkwai Chungropa Mkwai with our insomnia program. Thank you very much. I hope my end of your way, no?
No, we are doing well for insomnia. Over 300 from my side, which is pretty good.
Amazing.
Insomnia, then pushing abantu.
You know, in a I've already part issue you're tapping your phone issue. Me, I have one person that I feel, or the institution that I feel should be visited. And these are the phone companies. If it's Zamtel, or I don't know, is it Celtel or Airtel? These are people that monitors all the calls that goes through any individual. And these are the people that even record any conversation, and they have been given, they have some policy in there, whatever. There are some international calls for that they have been told to either record or not to record. You know, Balikwatotuma in-house secrecy or arrangement where they are told. So
recording phone calls is illegal.
I know, but there is, I know nalikwataba nande wale bomba kuzamteo and valenje befichitika, you know.
Yeah, but that means it's wiretapping, which is a criminal offense.
Absolutely, and that is where now these people, the so-called politician comes in, and the so-called investigative journalist comes in. They arrange with the same chaps that work in those areas to take because where do they imagine? Where do they get access to have those conversations? Because you need to have technology to access a conversation that is going on.
Yeah, the possibility is a wiretap, but the way the conversation is flowing in that, okay, quite all right. Yes, I would lean towards a wiretap, but I would also lean to the fact that it's just recorded. Somebody was recording it.
Yes.
Gentlemen.
Why?
Let's assume that was a recording done on WhatsApp. This is just a theoretic way of looking at it. If we assume that it was done on WhatsApp, it means someone actually actively said, I'm going to make this call and I'm going to record it. Yeah. Okay. Maybe even before we talk about WhatsApp, let's look at the conversation the way it went. So Akafumba Baska, and he didn't know who the caller was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for starters, you assume that he was not the one recording, because you don't get a phone call coming through before Taolachta answer or unbox the record.
To the contrary. You can even begin recording a conversation
because you suspect that
true. But what I mean is, how many times do I get a phone call? You know, the moment my phone rings, I start recording it. Why?
No,
what?
Because they have apps. Some of these people have apps on the phone. Kuno yengi sana with all.
I know.
They have a lot of apps. But phone ule ya sukafye yambo kuchita record.
But to be honest, Mali previous government, tapings over register, illegal taping. You remember, we are the people that were in the recipient of those phone calls where people, the cadres, they're recording themselves, number ministers, where they're insulting each other. You see, it is coming from that background, and they are trying to continue even in this new dawn government. And we know, and it's good that Munshya have stated the law that it is not actually allowed in our country.
No,
it is illegal to record. If you can't record somebody without their consent, unless you agree, both of you, that let's put this on recording. But in the absence of that, it is actually a prosecutable offense. So whoever is involved, I'm glad that the police took upon themselves and summoned the journalists that aired the conversation between the top government officials. So it is not wrong for the government to summon the people they suspect to have committed a crime. Let those people justify themselves.
Shouldn't the police go ahead and summon Wangoma and Kafumba as well?
It is their prerogative. It is up to the investigative officer if it is going to lead them to what they are trying to find out, to establish, especially the criminal aspect. Who recorded? If it requires the presence of those two individuals and even get their phone to search in their phones, then the police have all the power. They can even go to court and get an order to subpoena all those phones.
Yeah,
simple.
Yeah.
That's the toughest part here, because I need to make it very clear. I feel quite apprehensive about this idea, Miranda, with government officials and someone is recording. I think it's bad manners. We shouldn't tolerate it at all. We shouldn't.
It needs to be nipped in the bud, because people won't govern. You want to go to the office to go and execute your duties with a clear mind and a free conscience. If you're going to go to work thinking someone might record you, then you have that in the back of your mind to say, you won't be expressing yourself 100%.
No.
So therefore, I think this needs to be cleaned up here and now before it becomes a pandemic.
Yeah.
Our enemies are foolish, please. Never foolish. Never foolish. They want to find excuses. They want to find. They want to find kariaka ka scapegoat. Kuti mwamona aba mwalela ndati eva aba clean. We know the works of an enemy. They are spending sleepless nights already. If you are salaba chirwa besu kuatwala kudeki. Our mandin ba mbina baleka kuya kutuma toilet. They are now busy bale sweating. They are scared, and now they are trying to come up to divert. Mwali beshiba our guys are very sophisticated when it comes to issue of diverting from the main core.
Okay, thank you. Number one, Kelabai, Kwachba defection ero kalulush. Kwachba waka pokola name futi. If you will, name your talk. We support the UPND. We support this New Dawn revolution. If you are kalulushi lelo, Chidi, I'm still studying it. I'll come back with a comprehensive statement. But as a preliminary observation, it was pretty bad optics. Very bad optics.
Who authorized the officers to go to a party gathering?
Minister of Copper Belt, who is also a chairman for UPND Copper Belt.
Why would that?
May I bring you? May I bring your attention to something? For me, actually, it's a good thing that there are two significant events that happened today. The first event was where the president went to the markets, Kulusaka, and the statement he issued. For me, it actually does cover what happened in Kalulushi. Indirectly, he was commenting about the issues that happened in Kasama. And he said, there's no point of me having all these policemen around me, protecting me. They can't protect the normal person, the ordinary person out there. So for me, this is a statement that goes first to Vamwimbu and to the ministers and the police to say, don't get too excited. You've got a president who's got his priorities in the right place. So for me, I think everyone should sit up and pay particular attention to the president, because he doesn't want to tolerate that nonsense. That nonsense shouldn't have happened.
So we really have a question, because Bamatambo has been a very good guy. He's been part of the struggle. He's been locked up several times on the Copper Belt. So maybe we need to give him a benefit of doubt. But what happened in Kalulushi? Why did he have to bring a battalion of paramilitaries for this defection. This does not make sense to me. I don't know, maybe it's making sense to some people on the Copper Belt, but Imoba UPND Copper Belt, tell me, what the Mukula was happening in Kalulushi that
What's the
justifies,
Mukula? That's a good one.
that justifies a battalion of paramilitaries? This is abuse. This is complete abuse of state resources. I'm sorry.
No, but Munshya, may I come in again as well? Yeah.
But was there a need in the first place?
No, there wasn't.
Was there unrest?
Gentlemen, may I say something again? Let's compare the two scenarios of yesterday, Kasama and Kalulushi, because for me, there's one very common streak between the two, I'll bet, on like two sides of the same coin, and I will explain why. In Kasama, when those things were happening, we had the police like just watching, and to an observant mind like myself, they were thinking, Abama Kadas Baba UPND, if we touch them, what's going to happen to us? You know? Because there's that hangover from the PF regime. Yeah, for Watama Kadas in Galiba ruling party, you don't touch them. Then you flip the coin, go to Kalulushi. There was a battalion, there was a group of people defecting to the ruling party. So maybe, and this I'm not accusing Bakapokola, but it's a possibility. Maybe they saw the need to say, because we are a ruling party, you know, let's be seen to be.
That's the thing. The UPND is a very stable party, but Elisha Matambo is a very mature politician, and receiving defectors under the cover of police is not justifiable at all.
There's no need.
Actually, it's a sign, Vamusha, to show even intimidation. People can play on that road to say they were intimidating people. That why do you bring the police where people are supposed to defect freely, willfully?
Willfully at defection. So if you cover tamula kwata meetings with your own members, tamua kwata pama rallies to thank the voters on the Copper Belt. Tamua kwata pama rallies to protect your own members ava mivote Copper Belt. Ukuya vasha. Ukuya vafukamina. And yet you are telling me ukobati moyach divisha. To protect a person who is defecting.
Yeah, that's a funny one, isn't it?
No. This is not right.
I think the best we can do
whatever happened. But from the information we have, that Rashida was defecting from being an independent to becoming UPND. Some people were not happy. To protect her as she's defecting. For goodness sake. Why didn't you just announce? Ukuchitafi announce a press release from the media director. We have Ms. Rashida Mulenga, who has now joined the UPND chapel. Everybody is happy and peaceful. Number, in a desire that you can still go on and do it. No, it doesn't matter. We'll still do it because we are the ruling party. We can even call upon the soldiers to protect us after all. Paramilitaries. Anyway, Matambo,
let's cross the bridge, Vamusha, when we get there. We don't have enough full information of what precipitated these guys to bring the law enforcement officers to a party where they're celebrating defectors or the welcoming defectors from other political parties.
Okay, I'm sharing a video which I believe caused the Copper Belt minister and team to call those officers. I've seen that video. It was people who were threatening That is why you even then need to manage that situation. Bantu ififya kobat mulefu a defection ya kwa Rashida. Eno nomba bantu bamubafulwa bebele yo muchitechi. ero mwabe batyo mkwae twali kwatabaka pokola tukabeta ero nomba mwachita benfiwe yabuteko infutisha buteko personnel yabuteko and you line the entire Kalulushi with policemen for what? For a defection? Somebody threatened that Rashid should not defect? Awe. Iyo bane. Mwari chitapwe ifyo for members. Mwari hapo to every district to say thank you.
No.
Have you been to all those people in your capacity?
I think on that one you have a point where you're talking of the winning party. Have they gone to their voters to thank them in each province or constituencies where these people came out in numbers, especially when we know that this was not their stronghold? And then surprisingly, they got overwhelming voters that voted, or numbers that voted for them. I think it was imperative for this government to have gone there and thank the people, even before people should start defecting. First and foremost was to go there and simply tell them thank you, and we welcome every member, because they knew that that was not UPND stronghold, but they should have gone there to thank them, to say to atotela, and you are most welcome. Nga mwali mu PF mwali chulira fe mukati mwali fuira mukatita mwali landa, but mwali tulanga ma vote mwachitire cast, and then from there maybe people will understand. Not you start holding rallies just to go and welcome defectors.
The other thing is an apology. I think once I reach that defect should come with an apology, because then what is this? Kuisa mkupapata uwapumine abena Zambia, uwaibire abena Zambia, uwale salula abena Zambia, nokuvatuka nokuvapontera teku imafie ati yo mkwaina ya mkujoina UPN. Awe,
because
bafuire balombo bwerelo baichefya kubena Zambia timwe mwebena Zambia nali mitukire nali mipontere nali mifurire nali miponona nali tumabaka pokora oko miponona twali mikete twali mirufiani echipeshamano.
Bantu kaniyo isho yansere ko ali nsere twali shumfuire ka nabale chita defect bambi twali kwata matepu ya
bakunkulo kunkwira bena Zambia ero nomba mwaranda te chiteni defect not if you are that defect bantu abale bapuma. You see, the people who were abusing their fellow Zambians bali beshiba bwino they are there in Kalulushi. The people that were crippled and maimed and beaten and assaulted, they're there.
Maybe Munshya. Maybe that is why they brought Bakapokora, because
these people, these criminals, have now become UPND.
Yeah, and they will soon be becoming our ministers.
No.
Soon they will start becoming our ministers. Sadly. Awe bamukere bayo umutima tatwabweshemo first bafuire bachita apologize ku bantu.
Zambia, we are practicing democracy, so everyone has the right to belong to any political party of their choice.
Yes, very much so. But
despite of them having committed all those atrocities, and some of them we know for the fact that they are just doing this to cover up their mistakes. So the law will finally catch up with them, even when they have defected, they have come. If at all they committed those atrocities, they will be visited by law and be prosecuted.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
They are welcome. They are welcome to join. And because now, you know, in there still go back to that iron lady, Madam Chilwa. They know that Mwalam for Penat Bowman is now Ale Chinjat, Kainde is my papa.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I think we've got to end here. This is about 1 hour, 10 minutes. We really thank you. We are going to come to you again. Thank you very much for staying with us on this very late night chat for insomniacs. Thank you. To the people of Kabwata, we've already told you where our heart is standing. It's on Andrew Tayengwa, the UPND candidate. Mwebena Kabwata mwika katana kuchani yo mwiko mfuira na bakelenga pandu they've regrouped but if okupwerera mukwiba, that's what they want. So don't even give them a hearing. Kanshukula monafyo okubale pita bakelenga nokubawera mule bawera bakelenga
Mwawera ko
mwera baparamika nokubaparamika iyo Andrew Tayengwa emuntu wenu emuntu waba hagainde hichilema emuntu wabena Zambia eo Kabwata irefwaya Kanshipa 3rd February, you know what to do. This has been a presentation of TVBAKWETU. Elias Munshya here. Good night. God bless you and God bless our country. Thank you.